Good afternoon, everyone. It's Tuesday afternoon, and Mark is now in the book of Mark, and he's going to be reading the second chapter of Mark. This chapter, again, Christ is going about doing healing among many of the sick, and also he says that he told them the man with sick of the palsy, he says, "Thy sins be forgiven thee," and they got all bent out of shape because he said, "Thy sins be forgiven thee." And he says, "So you know that I have the power to forgive sins. Take up your bed and walk." And of course the guy did. And then also we see that the scribes and Pharisees didn't like him eating with the publicans and sinners. And Jesus said, "I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance." And then they tried to get him for healing on the Sabbath and everything. And he said that he was the Lord over the Sabbath. So anyway, I'll turn this over to Mark and have him read this for you.
Mark chapter 2. Again he entered Capernaum after some days. It was noise that he was in the house. Straightway many were gathered together, and it was so much that there was no room to receive them. No, not so much as about the door. And he preached a word unto them. And they come unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy, which was born of 4. They could not come nigh unto him for the press. They covered the roof where he was, and when they had broken it up, they let down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay. When Jesus saw their face, he said unto the sick of the palsy, "Son, thy sins be forgiven thee." But there were certain of the scribes sitting there and reading in their hearts, "Why does this man thus speak blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God alone?" Immediately, when Jesus perceived in his spirit that they so reasoned within themselves, he saith unto them, "Why reason ye things in your hearts? Whether is it easier to say to the sick of the palsy, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Arise and take up thy bed and walk? That ye may know the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins, he saith to the sick of the palsy, I say unto thee, Arise and take up thy bed and go thy way in thine house." Immediately he arose, took up the bed, and went forth before them all, insomuch that they were all amazed and glorified God, saying, "We never saw it on this fashion." And he went forth again by the seaside. All the multitude resorted unto him. He taught them. As he passed by, he saw Levi, the son of Alphaeus, sitting at the seat of custom, and said to him, "Follow me." And he arose and followed him. It came to pass, as Jesus sat at meat in his house, many publicans and sinners sat also together, Jesus and his disciples, for there were many, and they followed him. When the scribes and Pharisees saw to meet with publicans and sinners, they said unto the disciples, "How is it that he eateth and drinketh with publicans and sinners?" Jesus heard it. He saith unto him, "They that are whole have no need of physician, but they are sick. I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance." Disciples of John, the Pharisees, used to fast, and they come and say unto him, "Why do the disciples of John and the Pharisees fast, but thy disciples fast not?" Jesus said unto them, "Can the children of the bridegroom fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. The days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and then shall they fast in those days. No man also seweth a piece of new cloth in an old garment, else the new piece that filleth it up taketh away from the old. The rent is made worse, and no man putteth new wine into old new bottles. else the new wine doth burst the bottles, the wine is spilled, and the bottles will be poured out. New wine must be put into new bottles. And it came pass when he went through the cornfields on the Sabbath day, and the disciples began, as they went, to pluck the ears of corn. The Pharisees said to him, Behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful? And he said unto them, Have ye never read what David did, when he had need and was a hungered, and he and they that were with him, how he went to the house of God in the days of Abiathar the high priest, and did eat the showbread which is not lawful to eat, but for the priest, and gave also with him. And he said to them, The Sabbath was made for man, and not man made for the Sabbath. Therefore is the Son of Man Lord also, even also he is of the Sabbath.
You notice how the scribes and Pharisees always tried to put everybody under the law. And I'm glad we're not under the law. We're under grace. God bless.